Right.
All right, man, we're talking about tax liens.
Yes.
I'm going to go first briefly, then I'll pass it to you, then we'll pass it back and forth, all right?
Okay.
I'll let you get into the technical data. Let me tell you, in fact, and I'll come back and share my email, too. I got tax lien stuff in my email. I will tell you all, when I first started real estate, I started off in tax liens. That does not mean I bought one. Here's what it was told to me. Oh, man, listen, man, you want to get in real estate, you can get in real estate real cheap. You go down to the courthouse, and first Tuesday of the month, you go down to the courthouse. Where, by the county tax office, right? You go down to the courthouse, you pay pennies on the dollar, man, it's going down. Now, I heard Jerome pay pennies on the dollar. While that's true, my brain processed pennies on the dollar. Okay, not pennies on the dollar times 100,000. That ain't what my brain processed. Okay, my brain processed pennies on the dollar. So I went down there broke as hell. Okay, I went down there, put my name on the list. They said, "Oh yeah, you good." And the first thing happened. I ain't even lying. The man got up there and he must do the spiel every first Tuesday because there's some folk in there for me. He was calling me out. I don't care what he was calling out. He said, ladies and gentlemen, this is where you are. You're doing a good job. I'm so great. Appreciate you. You're one of the elite of Galveston County. You have an opportunity to get houses, and hopefully you've done your research. If not, it's okay because you don't really have much opportunity to do research. But at 2:00, we need full payment. I said, what? Oh, yes. At 2:00. In that door right there, we need full payment. I said, well, let me just sit here and learn this. Okay. So I didn't want to start off that way because I didn't look. Pennies on the dollar is what I processed, okay, Jerome? But I wasn't ready to be writing $25,000 checks. And, that's not what I was thinking. I heard pennies. You get what I'm saying? I heard pennies. But I'm glad I went there because I learned so much just listening to the auctions. I learned so much. And they ain't playing. They gone. All right, that was so. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a 3-bedroom, 4-bathroom, right, and stuff like this. It's in this zip code. And you can't see it. You don't get to go see it. Now, you get the bid. Anyway, we'll get into that technicality. Back to you, Maurice. I just want to start off that way for somebody who may be like, oh, yeah, I'm going in. Yeah, you going in. But 2:00, the county going to want their money. You think, okay, because they want their taxes. Go ahead, Maurice.
Yes. Value, great stuff, man. So that they say the devil's in the details. The prep work is in the benefit is in the prep work. Like if you spraying and you're doing painting, when you do buy some houses and you get into real estate, so at some point you might end up doing some of the work yourself if you like to do that. And one of the things I learned about in painting and spraying, it's in prep. The prep work is in taping and everything is so it's the details is what Antonio was just talking about was doing your due diligence on that property prior to getting to the property. So they want that money in some states at 2:00 or at the end of the day or at the end of that set when the gavel drop and when they close out, pay the auctioneer. Make sure you pay the auctioneer. At the end of it. So your due diligence, you want to have that done prior to. The tax sale stuff. I want to speak about New Jersey with the way that the tax process works is in New Jersey. It definitely requires you to have some money available. The way it works in New Jersey is they have it where you have, if you can buy a tax lien. So if the prop person doesn't pay their taxes for the year 2020, their taxes, let's say the round numbers is $10,000 a year. That's high taxes. But if it's $10,000 a year, they haven't paid the first and second quarter taxes. You can go there and buy the delinquent taxes. You buy those delinquent taxes. In this particular state, they allow you to charge up to 18% interest rate. Now, the principle is going to be the same. Different states may have different principles and different realities, right? Like, in Texas, it may be that, okay, you can, in Pennsylvania, they also have some properties that you can buy definitely at pennies on the dollar. However, you have to have drove by the property, dust the window off and looked inside to make sure, and more importantly, do a soft tax search. So what happened is a title company will do a search for you. It's worth every bit of the $75 to $150 to $200 that you're going to pay. That title company to do the soft search and make sure that there's no other liens or nothing else owed on that particular property. So it's all relative. So with the tax liens, you can buy a property, but you want to do your due diligence. So now to go back to what happens with the 2-year for the state of New Jersey, with the 2-year tax process is, let's say I buy that $10,000 tax lien, 2 quarters they owe for, let's say it equals $5,000. I pay that $5,000 off. Now you call down. This is all public information. You call down and say, hey, I need to find out if there's how much I owe on taxes, or you're going to get a notice. I'm the homeowner. That homeowner is going to get a notice that your tax lien was picked up and paid for by myself or by someone. And what that means is you're at their mercy now. You got to pay the $5,000 that you owe plus up to 18% interest that they want to charge you. If you don't pay that and bring it current, then they have the ability to foreclose on you after 2 years in this particular state. So after 2 years, you can foreclose on that property. That means that you paid the taxes, the 2020 taxes, and 2 years. So that means at least you have $30,000 into the property, not including whatever liens that property also have on it. So I just want to be practical with that and be clear on that. It is a way. However, there are some properties that you may luck up on, and it just may be free and clear. There's no liens on it, and you walk into it, and you hit oil. You strike oil with it. Are there some in between? Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be some properties that you run into that way, that you get into, that you purchase, and you buy the tax lien on it, and you pay the $30,000, and it's worth $200,000-$300,000 at the end of it. So I just wanted to share that process of the tax liens, but the most important part of it is doing your research on it, and in that the habits of it is definitely it's a process of learning, and it's a process of making sure that property is, and the best way to do it is have a title company to do what's called a soft search on it, and they'll go and they'll do a search on it and let you know what's owed on it, if there's any debts out there on that property. If not, and you drive by the property, the best part of it is you get the list. The list is going to come out, prior to the sale. So there's 2 different types of tax liens. That's one where a person's immediate taxes are purchased in that particular process. That's one type. Then you can buy from the auction. You can buy tax liens from the auction where you buy the property. And you buy them they may auction it off for what's owed on the taxes. And it may be 2 years, 3 years, 4 years worth of taxes. However, it's the due diligence and finding out what else is owed on it. Do they have any private loans against the property? Are there any bank loans on the property? So on the tax liens, it is a way to get your money up, and to get seed money to purchase, because to get seed money up, to purchase other properties, that's one of the ways to raise capital to buy real estate and to set yourself up to be to become free in real estate. So that's what I wanted to add with regards to tax liens. It's different for each state, and there's a difference. You have the judicial states and non-judicial states. And some New Jersey happens to be one. You have to go in front of the judge in order to take the property back. I don't believe Texas is one. I know Atlanta is not one. They go to the courthouse steps, and it's a short period of time. I don't want to give out times because I don't know exact date times is, but I believe one of them states is like 3 days. If it's not, I think Texas is one of the worst ones. Worst ones where they take the properties very quick. It's really short notice, and I believe Atlanta is.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, and it's I think Atlanta is 30 days, and so they'll take the property very quick, and it's the first Tuesday or the fourth Tuesday, in to buying those tax sales. But I guess the point is that that's a good way to build money with a little bit of money. So not to give the illusion that it's going to be just a walk in the park. You can go in there without any money, but it's a way to do it. However, it's just doing your research and making sure that that property doesn't have a ton of liens on it, and you're not buying a lemon when you do it. So you can buy it for the amount of taxes on it. This particular property being in New Jersey, you could pay up to 2 years. If the taxes is $3,000, you pay 2 years of taxes, and then you can decide to foreclose on the property, or at the least turn that owner into a tenant. You can stay there. You're in a win-win situation. Just pay me the rent. I've seen it done tons of times, So it's just an opportunity to get into real estate ownership and get real estate in your hands with not a whole lot of money, and leveraging what you have. At the least, you'll be able to get 18% of interest in this particular state. You get 18% of interest on the money that you invest in it. So that's for the tax liens for the state of New Jersey. Other states are different. However, there's a lot. They don't vary much. And the benefit of the taxes, because taxes take first lien, they take first position. They take priority over a mortgage. So if you buy the tax lien, and that's why if a person is in foreclosure, the banks will go and they'll start paying the taxes, because they don't want to get into that fight with the bank. So they'll pay the taxes, and they'll start taking over the taxes. They'll pay the tax, and then they'll pay the insurance, so that they're in first position. It kind of solidifies themselves in first, and puts them in first position. So if the property looks like it's going to go in foreclosure after 3 months, they'll send somebody driving around the house, taking pictures and checking to see if someone's in there. And after a certain period, they'll pay the taxes, because taxes, the taxes, even the banks, their mortgage, they're in second position when it comes to taxes. I'm gonna stop right there, put a pin in it on that part of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Remind us to come back to lemons and lien holders. Yeah. Remind us to come back to that. We definitely need to go. They're one in this. Well, not one in the same, but they same conversation once we do have it. Now I'm going to share my screen. I pulled Drake up because I'm going to try to hide a tad bit of information with Drake. I just chose Drake because it's kind of universal. Anywho, we'll get to that in a second. I have a too much information. You can buy there are places that are $34,000 behind on taxes, and then that house is worth $212,000. Tax liens is a fantastic way to buy equity. A fantastic way to immediately buy equity. And you don't really need fees when you have equity. You just don't. You don't. Let's say you get a $34,000 house. Excuse me, because you're not getting you're going to get a $200,000 house with $34,000 behind on taxes. Now you bought a $200,000 house for $34,000, which is going to put you sitting pretty nicely when it comes from a position of equity or something. Yeah. It's possible you have to deal with the bank, but that's under a few circumstances, and I'll try to avoid right now until we come back to the tax liens and stuff. But the lien holders, I'll try to avoid it right now. because the bank would be a lien holder in some cases, unless they've already did that. But it's not necessary. Yeah. You go ahead and jump in, because I put myself in a trap. Yeah.
That's all right. No, unless they've already paid the mortgage. So the lien holder would be the bank. So if that $234,000, I mean that $200,000+ house, you're getting that $34,000. There may be a private mortgage of $100,000, or a mortgage that they may take someone may have taken out a equity line of credit, or even a private hard money lender, taking out some money. Those are the
and
things
these people are going to get paid back. Yeah, right.
That's
right.
It.
Yeah, I was trying. So we might as well tackle it right now before I start sharing my screen. I was trying not to tackle it, but I walked myself right up into tackling it. Okay, Grace has a question.
Private mortgage. Can you tell me what that is?
Sure. So private mortgage is anybody's private money. So let's say the 17 of us start a fund, we put in $10 a piece per person, and we start lending our money. We set our own criteria for what the criteria is. You have to have a 650 FICO score. We want to make sure you set the terms, and we lend the money out. Like Antonio was speaking about hard money. It's really hard money. So it's a group of individuals that get together, and they lend at their own money on their own terms. It's private money, not necessarily governed by RESPA or the government. So there's HUD loans and Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac loans. All those typical residential loans, even up to the 1 to 4 units, are governed by RESPA. They require you now, after the bubble, they require mortgage people to have real estate license, and so on and so forth. But private money lending, you don't have to have that. You've seen a lot of more of those popping up as of lately, the past few years. A lot more private money is available. There's a lot more private money is available. I want to also say this, as there is business in it for those in most states, and I'm gonna share this, in most states, it don't require you to have a license to do private money, and you can make money it's a stream of income for you as an individual to do loans, to do loans if you know the steps of it. Yeah. So yeah.
I'm doing plenty. I can't let me tell you something. As soon as the economy crashed, I am Mr. Private Money.
That's right.
The banks ain't gonna give it out, and you still gonna need it.
Yes.
Please no. I'm waiting. I am waiting for such things to happen. Yeah, he's absolutely right. He is super duper right. Which brings us into the lemons and the lien holders. Because if we got our money, we first money in, first money out.
Yes.
So yes, you brought that. I was literally trying to avoid it, but now I talked up on it and I couldn't avoid it. Yes, you did a good job, Grace. That's $34,000. That was cute. That was for the state. That was for the city. That ain't got nothing to do with what you owe us. No, I paid $34,000. That's all I had. That ain't got nothing to do with the fact that I'm first money in, first money out. Congratulations for now putting us back in a position where we both can make money. But what you gonna do is run me my money.
That's right.
You understand? Okay. So now you got this $200,000 house. You got $34,000 in the deal. So when I said what made me accidentally walk up on this conversation by accident, was trying to avoid it, is when I said when you have equity, you don't need nothing else. And that's what made me walk up on this, because you can literally pay me back, Grace, with the equity.
True.
Here's how. Now you got a couple of ways, but let's just go with the sale of the house, okay? Let's go with you not using the equity, but it's there in the house. So you take $200,000 minus $34,000. Now we sitting pretty on $166,000. You owe me $100,000, and that's still a good deal for you, because you're still going to walk away with $66,000 minus your $34,000 for a total of $32,000. Essentially, you bought a property for $34,000, paid off all expenses, and still walked away with 94% return on investment. That's fantastic. So where am I getting these numbers from? Someone, Grace, show your calculator on your screen real quick. We got some people aren't. I'm an audible learner, so I saw everything I said. Some people need to see it. So share your calculator on your screen real quick, or a Word document or something. Actually, share your Pages document for us, and we'll write down what we just said. Yeah, we'll write down what we just said. Because me and Maurice want our money back. The city was in the way, and we wouldn't fit to pay the taxes. That ain't our job. Now we have to do that. We play, that's the last case. That's the nuclear option for us to go pay taxes. That's the worst. That's last case scenario. One of us gave up or died. I don't know which one, right? Somebody. So here we go. Put Grace initial investment. Yeah. We'll do it in the order in which you understand. Grace initial investment, $34,000. Now it put equals tax bid. Just making up words now. That's what you paid on a Tuesday in Texas. That's what happens in Texas. Okay, Tuesday in Texas. That's what you paid. You paid $34,000, and you was ignorant like Antonio and thought you got you a $200,000 house. No, you didn't. You got you a $200,000 house, less expenses. And my private mortgage is an expense. Because there you go. So when I did the deal, I was first money in, first money out. You understand? So I need you to now write down my $34,000, just like that, is not money in the property. It's a lie. That's money in the city. Do you get it? I just need you to process. This is tax liens, y'all. Okay, I'm throw it back to Maurice, and we both will tackle it. Your $34,000 is not money in the property. That's money in the city's taxes. So you can't come to me and say, but I paid $34,000. That ain't got nothing to do with me. We do not go together right now. Okay? All right. The house, put the house is worth $200,000. Now you're going to put the private, let's just put mortgage. We'll just put mortgage to keep it simple. The mortgage is $100,000. That's how much left on the house. Then you're going to put this here. House value minus mortgage equals $100,000. And then put potential profit. Just put that. Just put potential profit. Yeah, no, I just want people to know that the difference between the mortgage and the house value minus the mortgage, these are two different things. I just want people to know that while both those 100,000 look the same, they are not the same $100,000. Potential profit is not a good label because I'm about to kill that, but I'm just trying to keep it simple because I'm talking to everybody. You get what I'm saying? Does everyone follow right now where she has mortgage is, as a matter of fact, Grace, won't you bold the line you just did? Yeah, bold it. And then, there you go. There you go. And then you can hit in and go to a different line. I just want that to stand out. That is not the same $100,000 as mortgage is $100,000. Okay? The mortgage is $100,000. I'm saying there's $100,000 left over in what you would call. So go back to the potential profits and then put equal equity, home equity is what that is. All right, I'm just trying to keep it layman's terms. All right, good stuff. There we go. that home equity and that mortgage are two totally different things. What I'm saying in plain English to everyone is there's $100,000 left over. We know this not to be true right now, but right now in this equation, that's not the truth. I mean, right now that is the truth because I haven't gone further, but there's more details. So let's go. You don't go up with the cursor. We're going to go up as a class. $34,000 what Grace has out her pocket. So do me a favor, Grace, up there where it says tax bid, go up there and then put equal out my pocket. Yeah, all right. Good. Because I need you to know you $34,000 out. So if it costs $50,000 to sell this house, you're going to have to come up with $84,000. Yeah. But that 34, you don't get to say, well, contractor, listen, Brad, listen. I got $34,000 out in. That ain't got nothing to do with the contractors. And he could put a lien on the house too. If you don't do something, he'll be second lien holder in this case because we got first. Me and Maurice got first. You understand? All right. So Maurice, bring up lemons when it comes to that. Make that a lemon situation here in a second. Now, so Grace has $34,000 in. That's not in the property, it's in the taxes, which means that there's $200,000 that the house is worth, but there's a mortgage that's to $100,000, which means there's $100,000 to work with. You get it? Mm-hmm. All right. Now that you know there's $100,000 to work with, it's going to take you $30,000 to put in the house to sell it. Yes. Because let me tell y'all something. You ain't getting no tax lien property. They did something. They didn't rip the cop out. You know, they did something, okay? They didn't let it go down. All they did was keep the lights on. They did not. They had a problem with the bank. You're not going to take care of the bank stuff. Man, you got to put some money in there.
And all usually when you see that happening, you'll see that when the mortgage or the monthly payments stop, you start to see deficiency in the property. They go hand in hand. So you're going to see that's one of the first things, that the mortgage payment is probably, last. The repairs is going to be last thing they think about. So that definitely go hand in hand, even if a person is staying in the property, if it's not vacant. So they go hand in hand.
Even if they're a good person. Even if they're a good person, everybody's saying, I can't afford it. I'm not fit to pay. I'm not fit to take food out of my house to take care of what the bank fit to take care of me. Take from me. I'm not fit to do that. Mm-mm. Right? Nobody should do that. So now you got to put $30,000 in. So now you got to put $30,000 in. So Grace, I want you to copy and paste that $30,000, that last line. Copy and paste that whole last line. Paste the line below. 30,000, and then go to next to sell it. Plus. Now copy and paste your whole first line. Yes. Copy and paste your whole first line. Equal $64,000. I just made this a lemon. All right? I just made this a lemon. Why? Because if you got $64,000, if you got $64,000 in, you understand? Mm-hmm. And it's $70,000 left in profit. You understand? Mm-hmm. Why is it? Someone tell me why there's $70,000 left in profit. You got to put it on the next line. Why? It's in that bold.
Your equity.
That's why I had you bolded. The equity. You got $70,000 left. You get it? Yeah. 100,000 minus 34,000. No, 30,000 to put in the house is 70,000. Get it? Now, is it worth all this trouble to get $6,000 return on? That ain't even return on investment. So, I guess it is $6,000 profit.
That's it.
Do you understand? Because you think, oh, I made 70,000. No, you didn't. You put 64,000 in. That don't make no sense. Does everybody follow me? Yeah. I would never do this deal for $6,000. You could have just gave Maurice some money and say, hey man, listen, man, here's 3,000, bring me back 6,000. Go find a deal. You know what I'm saying? And bring me back 6,000. Attach this 3,000. I want 100% return on investment. It's so small. So that's kind of crazy to ask for that much. But you get the point though. Point is, you could have shot dice and had the same odds. You could have had the same odds in the dice game that you did. Because, and let me tell you why this is a bad idea. I just saw Carrie say good stuff. Right, I want you to write this down, Grace, in the next line. Actually, you can just delete that. Well, hold on. Let's finish this. Let's fix this line up. 70,000 left in profit minus 64,000 I got in the property. Yeah, we don't fix that. Equals $6,000 profit. And I'm telling you, you could have rolled dice and had equally. And let me tell you why I'm saying that's equal. Because this money's tied up. Now, if you can get this $6,000 back in 3 days, that ain't no problem. That's a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get that $6,000 back in 3 days, that's a good deal. If it's going to take you 3 months, I'm frustrated. Because I could have used because I could have did 3 small deals with $64,000 and got back more than that. You understand what I'm saying? If you could tell me I got to wait a year, I might punch you in the face. I'm not so sure. Like, you shouldn't even came at me like that. You understand? Am I lying, Maurice? You shouldn't even came at me like that. Like, $64,000, for $6,000 for a year.
Mm-mm.
But this is how y'all do with y'all businesses, right? You ask people to invest, and you're saying it's going to take a whole 3 years to get. If it takes 3 years for me to get back 10x, that's actually good money. I'm cool with that. If it takes me 10 years to get back 3x, I got a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because my money's tied up.
Time versus money.
Time versus money. There you go. You want? Okay, so let me let Maurice talk right here. Did you pick up on anything? We can do this all day.
Yeah, I got you. So one of the things that I picked up on is, jumping on at me is the the equity. So what wasn't also, so if a person, the 34,000, that's not including the cost for the money. So I just want to be clear on, so the investment is 34,000 as an investor. I'm going in 34,000 to purchase the money. The cost of the money is not included in that.
Yeah,
so
we
didn't even add the cost of the money in that. So that investment
closing cost,
exactly. The cost, to borrow it, points, how many points you're gonna be charged at it. That wasn't even part of it. So that was there's even more money in it. So and again, it's in the details, and usually that's why when you're looking for an investment and you're making an offer on property, always, like you said, you want to be able to, if you had to sell that property tomorrow or in 3 days, you need to be able to win. If I got to turn around and sell that property, so I'm investing, and my offer is going to reflect that. So, all right, so that property is no longer worth. So if it's 3,000, if it's a property, now I need to offer less. So I have to offer less money because I got to give myself a cushion, So always, so the person that tells me, that's why, to your point about, the traditional way a real estate agent come at you and they're going to price the property. If it hit the real estate market, it's on the MLS, 99.9% of the times it's not a deal. It's not a deal if it hits the MLS. No, it ain't a deal. Once it hit the MLS, it's just not a deal. You almost got to be going wholesale, knocking on doors and properties that just look, with the for sale sign or for rent signs is a telltale sign. I didn't learn this until this was a costly experience lesson I was taught when I first got in the business. I was hungry. I was green and hungry. And I got my first commercial deal. Got with there was some people that were buying up properties. They still own. They was buying up properties in about 4 particular areas in New Jersey. And they knew I was new, just newly licensed. They told me exactly what they wanted. And I went and found exactly what they wanted. Long story short, he was still giving me tips, and he was like, look at for rent signs. So that's a telltale sign of someone. And I didn't learn this until I got into property management to understand that a lot of times you can get good deals when a property is for rent, because it's a pain point for landlords when they just get rid of a tenant, especially for landlords that can't detach themselves from their property. A lot of times, the emotionally attached to the property you are, the harder it is for you. You better get a property manager and put that buffer in between you and that property. If you're a nice guy and your heartstrings and you deal with your properties, and my first property, I was like that. I was, I rented rooms. I was, rented rooms out of my first property, and everything. It was just, I was always emotional. I was mad about everything. Everything that broke. But it took a minute to learn that. But so like a pain point often for landlords is right when they just have to re-rent the property up. So that's a good time that you can introduce, hey, you want to sell this property. Needless to say, commercial real estate is a whole different animal. It's a good way to get, I really taught a lesson my first commercial deal. They did some shady business, but I learned my lesson in that.
I can relate.
But the tips hey, that was one of the tips, the takeaways. It was expensive to learn that, that the for rent signs is a telltale way to go. You see somebody with a rent sign, you don't want nothing that's on the MLS. That's the farthest place you want to look. You may find some HUD deals. HUD might be the exception to that, because here's with HUD properties, what I will tell you, with HUD properties, they're on a time factor, right? So if the property sits on the market for a long period of time, they've already got their money because they're going to put a claim in on the property. With HUD, it's a claim situation. The government submits a claim. So I buy a property, I default on the loan, and it's with whatever bank, anyhow bank, anybody bank, and the bank says, I'm going to give you this $100,000 to buy this home. The government going to say, all right, they met the criteria, you're a HUD approved bank, and we're going to back the money. I default on the loan. The bank ain't going to lose because the government's going to give them back their $100,000. Even though I done paid 10 years into it, they give them back all their money. Whatever I pay, if I pay 1 day into it, they're going to get all their money back. What HUD is going to do is submit a claim. They're going to submit a claim against the insurance, because with HUD, you pay insurance through the life of the loan. That's why sometimes the FHA loan may not be the best loan to get, because you pay mortgage insurance through the whole 30 years of the loan, where on some loans it drops off with 20% on some other loans. And sometimes a private loan might even be better for you, even though you got to put more money down. So it really, times versus money, all that plays a big part in whether or not what type of a deal that's going to be most beneficial. So so that point of so sometimes that type of a loan may not be the best type of loan to get into. So with the mainly the for sale by owners, often are, and that's where a lot of training you can get from as that's door knocking and cold calling, because it's a lot of rejection there. You're gonna get everything, get your trained in the net. All the reasons why they don't want to put a house on the market with a real estate professional. All the reasons why, and those are some of the places where you can get the best deals. And 80 to 80% of those people that are for sale by owners usually end up listing with someone, and they usually end up putting it on the market. So you got a little window of opportunity to get to that person before they get to someone, as a real estate agent that's going to put that on the market. So for rent signs that go up, those are telltale signs that you can get to, and you want to get those properties before they hit the market. You have divorce situations, people that are on reverse mortgages, or people that I'm going to take back reverse mortgage, people that may be behind on taxes and have tons of equity in the property. And those are door knocking and cold calls.
Rate mortgages too.
Absolutely.
Those ARMs. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Most of them have matured already, but a lot of those have, are coming to maturity. Now they're ending up the ones back when, they were taking them out. A lot of them are maturing now, and there's a lot of, banks that are paying lawsuits as a result of those also. And that's a whole nother, another scenario for that speaks to a lot of the down payment assistance money comes from that.
Yeah.
Some of the banks as well, but those adjustable rates are definitely.
That caused the last recession.
Exactly.
Yeah, it did. Anybody telling you not, they lying. That is exactly what they
Yep.
Yeah, that did. Let's see. I'm going to share my screen at the end, and I'm going to block some stuff as to respect some privacy. But let's see. Man, you hit so much. I think the greatest thing. Well, actually, you said two. You said a lot of great stuff. Two things are ringing in my ears. If it's on MLS, probably right. It's not a deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty. And it's a lot of emotional sellers on the MLS that get on my nerves. Ooh, Jerome. It's actually my motivation for getting out of single family houses. It really is. It's actually my motivation. So first off, I was only offering 65 cents on the dollar anyway. I'm just telling you this straight up. But I'm only looking for distressed properties.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Now you can't have a distressed property and be emotional about your property. You can't do both at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And they all find themselves on the MLS. I offer you ain't got no other offers coming in. I offer 100% cash offer, 65 cents on the dollar minus repairs, because duh, I'm not paying that. That's the same thing what Maurice said earlier. And you don't like my offer. It's too low. You feel disrespected. Well, first off, I'm an investor. I'm not buying your property to live up in here. I don't care that little Susie was born in this house and your grandmother reared all y'all, and that ain't got nothing to do with me. You understand what I'm saying? That whole MLS thing. Anyway, that's why I stay away from. That's why I'm not an agent, because I'm too non-emotional to that. Real estate is not about that. You know what I'm saying? Your house can be, but real estate is about money. Definitely. That's why I like multi-family units. And now I'm looking for cash flowing properties, but that's a whole different class. I love you say that about the MLS, and I love you mentioned cold calls and just going out there and getting rejected and learning those lessons. I think that's only advice that can come from someone that's in the industry. You can't get that, that's not something you read in a book or hear from a podcast. You really need to, for sale by owner, dealing with for sale by owners taught me almost all my foundation came from dealing with people who acted like the bank, because I learned all my hard lessons, all my good lessons, dealing with people face to face. And it's a Maurice there that's like, hey man, this is how it works, man. You want to avoid this. I can get you right here, but I'm not going to. And I want you to be ready for that on your next property. Everyone's not going to be as nice as me. You get what I'm saying? Like there's people out there that literally tell you that stuff, man. So anyway. I'm gonna share my screen, brother, and then I'm gonna be done for this section, and then I'm gonna let you end it, and then we'll let Kiera ask a question, just in case she has some specific. But I want to show them what this looks like. But I'm gonna use Drake to hide some information. Hopefully, I did this right. We'll see. I'm gonna share my desktop, and then that's not done. All right, let me see. What you see? Okay, you see? Okay, good. All right, then. So Drake is in the right spot. Okay, all right, good. All right, Drake is in the right spot. I got Drake there. That's it. So leave a bargain, go get Blair and Samson LLP, you get free advertising. Okay, this is literally in my email. This is from January 8th this year. Okay, attached is the January 2020 Galveston County tax. Can you see my mouse here? Yeah. All right. So you see here, and this is in my. It's in. Anyway, I got a whole email dedicated just to real estate. Let me see. Right here. It's in this email right here. Real estate at this stuff. Okay. Now, they're giving me instructions, and I'll show you the highlight. And then this is the link. I'm trying to hide. So also attached is some really good stuff. But here's the deal. It's probably not sensitive, but I don't know if it is. And I really just don't feel like getting sued by a lawyer, because they're probably going to win. Don't feel like it, right? You know what I'm saying? So just don't feel like it, you know. And you can also, this is the part I'm trying to hide. You can see next week's, and they have a competitive advantage, and I don't want to take away their competitive advantage. That's why I'm hiding this, because they got February 2020 up, and it's a link, and if you're smart, you can go and, you know, look at the link, right? And I don't want you to do that, okay? I don't want you to do that. But I get the point. And this is the information, but if you want to, you can call. If you want to call them, you can. They're telling you this is attorney-client privilege. This is meant for that, right? Boom, boom, boom. But this is their public information. I'm not getting in trouble here. What I'm going to do now is just know that these are what the emails look like, and I'm going to show you the PDF that the Excel spreadsheet is what Windows people call it. But I'm going to hide Maurice. I think I'm going to hide the CAD number and the legal description. Yeah, I'm going to hide the CAD number. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hide the CAD number, so y'all give me a second to, again, just don't feel like getting, because why would I want to get sued? I'm going to hide the CAD number. Over here is case numbers and CAD numbers. Film. All right, here we go. Here we go. Good stuff. As long as I do this right, I don't have to worry about getting less sued. Share my desktop. Here we go. Did it work right? Is Drake there? Outstanding. Look at Drake. That boy Drake is on it. He is hiding stuff. So when they said stuff highlighted in pink, this is the same email that had two attachments to it. These are, so what I'm hiding is the CAD number. What's that stand for, man? County Appraisal District or something like that. Yeah. County Appraisal District. Okay, yeah. And if you know that, then you know the whole property. So I'm trying to hide that. So it is. Yeah, County Appraisal District. Okay, yeah. I figured it was. That's was GCAD, HCAD, which is Galveston County, Houston County, but we're in our areas to be something different. And this course is in Texas. What I'm attempting to do is let this law firm or whoever keep their competitive advantage. I don't want to give it to the whole world. Now, here are the dates that they were sold by. And then here you have some film code. I don't understand that, so if I am doing something wrong, I don't know. But there's judgment amounts. Get it? So I'm not putting out, because you can't see who what.
Right. Yeah, you can't see that.
You can't see who what. That's a lot of money in taxes, right? Yeah, I see that. That's $384,000.
Imagine what it's worth.
Exactly. And the cool thing is, if I go to the right, I think it does tell me what it's worth, but I ain't gonna do all that. Yeah, I ain't gonna do all that. And then you can see some of y'all, you can get something for $5,000, $900 behind the taxes, $12,000, $240 behind the taxes. I just want y'all to see that you can literally bid on this and get this, okay, for $240,000. That doesn't mean that it won't be a lien holder or something, you know, in the lurks, you know, waiting. But you do see that. Deanna had a question for me sharing the screen. Go ahead.
Okay, so my question, because you just said something, Maurice, that sparked the question in what you were showing, because what's the difference between what someone's selling something for and what's on the appraisal district site? And if someone, so let's say on the appraisal district site is saying the property is worth $150,000, but where I'm looking, it says they're selling it for $650,000.
Yeah.
How can I negotiate that?
That's what the best way to negotiate is to hire an appraisal for an appraiser. The last time I did it, give it a cost, man. It's like $300. Send somebody out and appraise the house. The county appraisal district has the last appraisals in their system, not the most accurate. Because you could have made renovations, and of course we're talking about we're talking about single family homes, because whatever that $384,000 was, that's probably not a
value. That's not a value.
That's not that's most certainly worth more than. Yeah, go ahead.
And tax assessors' value is different than actual market value. So
Absolutely.
Some states is going to be different. Some states will have, now what New Jersey is trying to do is to get, they've been, you know, in the textbooks, they'll teach you to say New Jersey's trying to get the assessed value to equal market value. It'll never happen. You know, so it's going to be the assessed
Too
value.
many.
So yeah, so and it changes, and the city is not going to keep up with it. That means they have to
No.
send out appraisers, and they only send those appraisers out and to do that every so often in so many years. That's why you
Yeah.
can always uh, appeal your tax assessment. Sometimes a person that may be an ideal situation for your property manager or somebody to come in and say, hey, your taxes haven't been assessed in 6 to 8 years. Appeal it, and then if it's too high, especially when this market reset, a lot of people was doing tax appeals because remember they inflated the value. The price was way up here, and then the tax assessment is. So I guess to answer your question in short is you have a tax assessed a value, and then you have market value. So there's two different values. So the tax
Two totally
assessors,
different values.
they're gonna give you what it's assessed at, and they usually derive that, and that's why here's why. And the way they do that is, you know, when you go down and pay for a permit for the things you gotta, when you want to add that addition on, that's how they raise the taxes on your house. So when you go submit for a permit, okay, you added a permit on the house, you put a hot water heater in. That's one way they raise your taxes by the improvements. So you have the land, then the improvements. So you'll see it's breaking down in two different ways. You have the land maybe valued at 50,000, and what they call improvements would be the property that sits on the land, and that's going to be valued at another number. And that's how they come up with that number right there that you got. But that's totally
Right.
separate
And
from
if
market
you want
value.
to change it, you can just hire an appraisal and
Yes,
then
sir.
have them give you the most accurate market value of your house. And
Absolutely.
then if it's higher, then you just got more equity to work with. Right. And you can adjust your sales price accordingly. Yeah.
Or hire
That's
a real
good.
estate professional to do a CMA. It's going to be the
There,
same
there you
similar.
go.
Banks do
There
that
you go.
all the time. You know, hey, hire
All the
a
time.
real estate. You know, hey, how much is my house worth? You know, I'm thinking about selling it. And the agent's going to come out and give you an opinion of value. It's going to be probably exactly what the appraiser is going to give you, close to it. The only difference between that CMA is the appraiser has a license to tell you that. That opinion can go to court, go to banks, but the CMA is only that, just an opinion from a
Right.
real estate professional. That's the only difference.
Right.
The appraiser has same numbers. The only difference is he got a license to do it, and the real estate agent does not.
Yep.
And he can't say his is an appraisal. All he can say is a broker price opinion or a CMA, comparable market analysis.
Yep. Nope. Facts. Last thing I'll show you here is the second attachment to that email. This is it right here. This is pretty much public, and I'll copy and paste this link for y'all to just go around and play in their site. This is the same company. I just want y'all to see requirements and I just want you to see, right? They're telling you city, sales type, resale, property value, minimum bid. I want Kiera and people to get an idea of what you'll be dealing with, right? This is definitely Galveston County, Texas Sheriff. Now, this law firm is obviously in partnership with Galveston County. It is them that does this and deals with this, on behalf of and with permission to Galveston County. That's why I was hiding some stuff to keep their competitive advantage because, right?
And I want to share something with that too.
Yeah, please.
So that wherever you are in your state, go to your county seat, wherever your county seat is, and pull up that county seat tax sales and stuff like that. Because one thing that company could be doing also, any company could do is buy that list that's free and sell it to individuals that don't know that it's free and say, these are real numbers, they're real prices, they're actually all that's real what it is, but it's something you could go and get for yourself off their website or go call and ask them to fax it to you, because all that's public information. The tax sale information is definitely public information. And this town, the state I'm talking about is every fourth Friday. Every fourth Friday, there's a tax sale every month. So they have on their website probably 3 to 6 months out in advance. The difference with that is you got to keep checking. Like the closer the sale date comes, you have to keep checking because people could file bankruptcy. People could get a modification. So you have to, so it's really, the work is in the details of it. So let's say that list, the closer the month you get to the list is the one you pay attention to is work, a little bit of work. you know, the one you really, really like and have interest in, the area is good. You know, the area is good. You know, I can get a lot of money for this property. I got my eye on this one. I'm gonna pay attention to these three. And then as I'm watching, the closer, because somebody can come the day of and they can get snatched off that list on the day of because somebody filed bankruptcy. I just had it done 2 weeks ago, you know, with someone. She came to see me on Monday. Her sale was Friday. And, you know, told her what to do. She went down to the bankruptcy court, got paperwork done, came back, pulled it. It's, it was off the list. So if somebody was looking at that, it's just as simple as that happening. They've made the bankruptcy laws a little bit 3 days longer than what it used to be, but and that's one of the things that could happen. So my point is really I want to make you know that list is out there available to you. But when you get that list, make sure if there's something on that list that you like and you have interest in it, you can pull that list from 3 to 4 months out in advance. And these are all numbers. They're going to give you the debt that's owed on it versus its value too. That's another thing. Make sure you know, because you can look at it and that $3 million or $300,000 tax debt that's on there, and the property could be only worth $400. You know. So if you want to do due diligence, you're going to have to make sure you do that due diligence. And a lot of that information is public record. I just want to make sure you know that.
No. I mean, I'm glad you did that. And it is on this sheet, ladies and gentlemen. But again, I couldn't show you everything without showing you what I didn't want to, have permission to show you. And again, I just don't feel like getting sued because duh, right? But if you type up if you had that CAD number, you're going to go right into the system and know exactly what the city says it's worth with that CAD number. That's why I didn't do that. Now, Kiara is automatic.
That's a reflex.
I know, man. I know.
Yes.
Any questions? Because this was your subject from last week. Well, first off, are you pleased?
Absolutely, I am. It was very beneficial and helpful. I took the notes. I probably have to go back and rewatch it again, but I wanted to ask 2 questions. It might be just one. So as far as the tax liens, how you guys wrote out the house value all the way to the home equity, if you're preparing to go ahead and purchase one of the tax lien, you got to be prepared for the foreclosure. Because just in case, like if they don't pay, you don't get no money. So you really only get a return on your investment based off if they get those taxes paid back after that 2-year mark.
Okay, I see where your question is coming from. From my experience, it'll already be foreclosed. Correct me if I'm wrong, because you're a broker here.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to deal with foreclosure, and it's just no possible way that it can get to tax lien because the city is going to give the bank every possible opportunity to get their money, right?
Right.
Haven't
We're
seen
looking at properties that's free and clear. That would be a free and clear situation. In that case, I think it'll be like 34,000 or 34,000 in that equation would be what's owed to the city. That would be what's owed to the city. Because by that time, like you said, you're going to see 34,000. You're going to see, because remember, the bank is going to step in and pay the taxes. You wouldn't even see that 34,000 at that point. So you wouldn't even have to work. Foreclosure wouldn't even be part of your equation unless it's and in that case, it'll only
unless you're talking about short sales. Yeah.
So do I have a mixed up?
Short sale.
Yeah, you got just mixed up a little bit. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
that's it.
I got to mix up because I'm talking more about the people who are actually still there who have that time frame to go ahead and pay that back with the interest. Okay, so that's where I want to be at. Okay.
All right. The good thing is I got started in real estate. So after I figured out I couldn't do tax liens, I went right into short sales. So I'll make sure that that's what we talk about next Tuesday. Of course, we can bounce back and forth all week. But you're thinking a short sale. Let me Google it real quick because I'm going to give you the hood version of a short sale.
Ain't nothing short about a short sale. When they first came out, they was taking 6 months to close. It used to be 6 months. They're a lot shorter now time to get nowadays to get it done. But when that first happened, it was nothing short about a short sale. It was ironic that they named it a short sale. It's really what the bank has decided to take a short on their money. They're taking a shortcut. They're taking a haircut.
Yeah, pretty much. You see a screen? All right. So here you see a short sale happens when the home value falls and sellers do not receive enough cash for a buyer to pay off. And this is what you're talking about. Their existing mortgages, providing lenders, agree to take less than the amount owed. In part, it's because real estate professionals profit on short sale. All right, and we'll break that. So your question was a short sale question.
There's deals there too. Yeah.
Yes, and the good thing is you're in my driveway with that, and so that's all good. Yeah, that's all good. And then I'll be able to flip that from a broker. Well, he's a broker, so he can do just about anything. But essentially, you become the middle. You become the middleman or the middlewoman and the bank's rescue. And here's the cool part. You also become the person's rescue as well. So you become the savior to both the bank and the person falling behind. And there are ways to get that done that I know people that profit extremely.
Absolutely.
From $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a short sale.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a lot of money in that, Kiara. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna definitely be on that call. And I want to just say one more thing. Those programs where they do like that free, the real estate stuff, the classes that get you to come and buy in. Because I took a couple of them, and the way they explained it, that's why I asked you guys about tax liens, but they didn't put it under short sale. So it's almost like a little draw in for you to come and not know what you're doing furthermore. So that's why I definitely appreciate you guys. So I got it now. I'll be on that call.
Yeah. Very welcome. Yeah, that's a good sales funnel. Is what you're going there. They get you. We gave away a ton of it. What we should have did was hit the surface and go, all right, ladies and gentlemen, for $99, you can meet us next week. And then when you get to $99, you go, okay, that ain't that much. And as soon as you get there, then that's what I say, $40,000 package. Okay. Yeah, that's what we should have did. But no, that's not the way it works here. So good stuff. Maurice, any closing thoughts, brother? I don't have any.
I just wanted to say that the part that I had to share was that information is public knowledge on the tax sale side. The short sale side, only want to add that you're saving a lot when the property goes into foreclosure. The banks usually pay anywhere between $40,000 to $50,000 to upkeep that property. So what you're saving the bank is a lot of money, and you're saving. That's why it looks different on the homeowner's credit if they cooperate with the short sale, because the owner still has to cooperate to be in the transaction and to stay a part of it. So, but that's you're saving the bank a lot of money because they don't have to pay for someone to maintain it. They don't have to hire a property preservation company to come in and maintain that property, cut the grass every week and winterize it and do all that. So that's why you can benefit from it as the investor. That's one of the benefits of the short sale. But that being said, that's all I had to share about that. And I hope that there was some benefit. Yeah.
Piggybacking off of that, you also save the seller, not the seller, the seller, the owner. You save them a lot of dignity. They don't have a foreclosure. You're saving their credit, and you can give them $3,000 to relocate.
Mm-hmm.
You really can.
Banks do that. They do it. I've seen them give as much as $12,000. It depends on the bank. It depends on
no doubt. Yeah.
One
I've
person
seen investors make $60,000. Yeah, and give $5 back so they can relocate. Yeah. She said that's what she wants to start. There you go. Smart lady. Yeah. Smart lady. Appreciate you, everybody. If you want to, just put it in the chat real quick, and then, ladies and gentlemen, I should say Deanna and Grace, if y'all would go and repost this, if you would put that's the YouTube link to the other, because we decided to make this available to the public as well. This is where you get to ask questions, and it just runs. It's the YouTube link there. Maurice, you can have it right there. Just if you want to see the other two, we're going to make this to where it's real estate college. You all can have it. Short sales will be next week, remind me. And then we'll go over that. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You can plan better. You can dominate. Everybody, appreciate you. Love you more, Phil. Thank you all for enduring. Appreciate you.
Hey everybody, you may not know it, but you probably not subscribed to my videos. I appreciate you for even making me a community. Team ATS, we are here. There are 3 things that I am accomplishing and changing the world, or at least aiding to change the world. Here's thing number 1. Every single time that you watch one of these videos and every single time you subscribe, you help boost this community and help me give out a whole lot more information for free. Another thing that you're doing, and this is probably most important, you help me pay for salaries, okay? Team ATS, the minimum wage for Team ATS, the people who work here, is $22 an hour. That's pretty cool, right? Every time that you subscribe, buy something from me, or now I'm going to ask you to go to my Patreon page and give a donation. That could be $1 a month, $3 a month, $5 a month, or if you like me, $25,000 a month. I appreciate you who's going to do that. 100% of every donation that comes through goes to salaries or video production, which is the second thing. You know, look, this is 4K content, right? All this stuff costs money. So instead of me taking money from people, what I'm doing is I am literally creating salaries and using this money for production and more salaries. I don't use the money for me. I am literally helping people, bringing people out of poverty. I am so excited about group economics that I typically hire people with felonies or need a second chance, or someone, the daughter is 15 years old and they need insulin. I love those kind of people because they're hungry and they need an opportunity. So please go to Patreon, okay? Go over there right now. I'm not sure where my editing team is going to put it. It could be over here. Click one of these things. You know what I'm saying? Go over there and do a donation. Now, that's if you can. If you can't, don't worry about it. Just set me to see first, put on the notifications, click that alert bell if you're on YouTube, however you find me, and you'll be helping that way. But if you have $1 to spare, $5 to spare, $10 to spare, I promise you, you'll be aiding people in salaries. Let's stay together. Now, if you're on the same vibration with me, if you're trying to raise the higher consciousness of this world, if you believe, if you be faithful to the few, you'll become rulers over many. If you vibrate at that frequency, let's be faithful. Let's, give $1 or $2. Let's help somebody else so the universe can help us. I really appreciate you. Team ATS is in the building to stay. A third thing that I'm doing, because I promised you 3, is I've actually started my own Oprah Winfrey network, but ATS network. So expect to see a whole lot more content. Expect me to start paying content providers and content creators. Expect me to give people a platform where they can get paid for their videos. I really appreciate you. I'm so grateful for you. Let's make this community one of the most popular and one of the most paid communities so we can pay others. I give you my word. 100% of the money that's drawn from these videos goes to creating salaries or upgrading equipment. Antonio T. Smith Jr., you can plant better. You can dominate.